right. I think I have everything. If not, this is working. Get this out. All right. I'm just going to wait for everybody to kind of join. Get my pencil because I got to write something down because that happens every once in a while. Hey, everybody. Sweet. Haven't done a live in a while. Feel like I'm like missing out. I've just been working from home a lot, but I'm getting a lot done. A lot of good stuff. So finally getting caught up with stuff. Big stuff. So we're good. We're good. Can't quite announce everything yet, but I'm getting closer. Right. Let me get this. I think I got everything. Don't mind Templeton. Yeah, I haven't been live for a while. I am going to go live. Let's see here. When am I going to go live? On Sunday morning from like 10 to noon. I'm just going to walk around. I'm going to do like a clearance event. I have a lot of crystals that I just are like one-offs that I just need to get rid of because they're taking up too much room. And then Eric said if I got rid of them that I could buy some more crystals. So I'm having like a kind of a, basically like a clearance crystal sale. It's going to be Sunday morning from 10 to noon. So that'll be on the Awakenings page. So I will be able to kind of, I think, do it on this page too. So, so yes, I'm excited. Yeah, I went a little bit more reddish purplish. So wanted something different. Just got tired of brown and gray. Let's be real. So, but yeah, like I said, I have, I'll be going live on Awakenings Facebook page, like I said, Sunday morning. So 10 to noon. So I'm excited. So, and then I also think, let's see here, that, and then I know in August, we have a lot of live sales. And what else do I got coming on? I got a Q&A on next Monday, and then a Q&A on that Monday after that. And then I do have another live crystal sale on the 24th, and then a Flash Friday sale on the 26th, and then my Reiki classes. So I also have the Enlightenment Academy for early August. So if you guys are still interested in that, let me know. My website is still under construction, so you can just call the office and talk to Jess. She'll hook you up. So that phone number is 402-289-9999. So I still have an old school like office phone number, but I couldn't get rid of it because the number, it's like all nines. Hello, I gotta keep it, right? So yeah, I haven't been seeing a whole lot of like crazy stuff happen. The funny thing is that I've been really meditating a lot more, like almost 25 to 30 minutes at a time. So outside of just having, rain and flooding around here, I know the weather is, well, let's be real. We all know it's being manipulated. So, yeah. Outside of that though, I'm not expecting too much crazy stuff. I'm expecting more crazy stuff to happen next year, because that is the end of a cycle year, plus it's the year of the snake. So this is the year of the dragon. So right now actually is a really good time that if you want to change your job, change your relationships, if you want to move away, if you want to really rock the boat, now's kind of the time to do it, especially if you need to start putting up boundaries with certain people. But really the biggest thing is that, like I said, if you need to change your career, go for it. Now's the time. Like I said, brush up the resume, get it out there. So that's a big one. So I am here though, just to answer your guys' questions if you have any in relation to anything metaphysical, spiritual, anything along those lines. Yes, Patty, retirement, absolutely yes. So if you get the opportunity to, I would, yeah. Any career change right now is good. So if you are looking at getting a side hustle going, get it going. Like quit talking about it, do it. Like it's action time. So it's really funny because it's not time to talk about it or really plan. It's like, nope, jump in, do it, let's go. Like, you've had enough time to think about this. So, and if people, if you're still trying really hard to make relationships work, maybe it's time to reevaluate that relationship and really break it down and ask yourself, have you outgrown it? You might have outgrown it. And where you're going, you might not need that person where you're going anymore. Year of the snake. So year of the snake. So this is the year of the dragon. Next year's year of the snake, and a snake always sheds its skin. And the other snake years were 89 when we had, the kind of like the recession hit hard. And then the other snake year was 9/11. So next year is a snake year. So that's what I'm expecting, more crazy stuff to happen next year. But like I said, sometimes we need a catalyst in order for things to change, right? Let's see. Yeah, Brenda. So Brenda was saying, and I'll share this one right here. Brenda was saying hard to find the lives anymore, not on my feed and hard to search. For whatever reason, Facebook now changed their algorithms again. And they pretty much want me to pay for me to get my content in front of people's faces. So the best thing I can do is to tell you, make sure that you're following me on Facebook. Make sure that you are getting the notifications. And sometimes you might have to redo that a couple times. I don't know why, but like I said, they're really cracking down right now, and they're really wanting, people to pay for content. And I refuse. I'm not going to. So I will be also doing a lot more videos here, especially for Awakenings to start. I'm still kind of working on my stuff, but kind of Eric and I are challenging each other to do a video a day. So you might get sick of seeing my face on Awakenings, but that's okay. Let's see. Yeah, no, it's you, Brenda, you're right. It's not just me. There's a lot of people are really struggling to try to find me, whether that's on Facebook or YouTube or whatever that is. Just kind of keep up with it. I did send out a newsletter today. If you did not get a newsletter, as soon as my website gets up, I'll have you guys get you directed there. But I just want to kind of put it in your head that when it comes to newsletters, you guys are going to be kind of my first ones to know what's happening with Kelly, or what's going to be, after the website gets announced and it's finished. I have some announcements that I'll be making. So those will be by people that get the first dibs. Like I said, I'm still working on kind of a lot of the back end stuff, and Alec is working on the front end and getting everything all ready to go. And she's been doing an amazing job. But this is a hell of a website. So, but there's also a lot of other stuff that I have to do. So, but we're getting there. We're getting there. So, let's see what questions you guys have. Hang on one second. I'm sorry, some of these it all went at once. While meditating, saw the shape of an eye, then a black coal with purple hues around it, meaning, Carrie, that's a good sign. Okay, that means to tell me that your clairvoyance or your third eye chakra is opening, stabilizing, balancing. And that's actually one of the first things that we start to see outside of the lava lamp. So first we see the lava lampy thing, then we start to see eyes and circles or triangles or geometric shapes. And then we start to see the all-seeing eye sometimes. And that's just signifying that your clairvoyance is actually starting to really, really pop on here. Let's see here. Have one of your pendants the opposite of the grounding when you have the flow, Emily. Okay. Got a rock chip, take it off. Oh, no. I will tell you, Emily, what the flow does is opens up your throat, third eye, and crown quick, super fast, and it does not ground you at all. So this is great for meditation, great for decision making, great for anything that you might need spiritual help with or spiritual development. That's a great time to wear that. Otherwise, out in public, I would not wear my flow pendant. I only wear my grounding one because that flow pendant will tap your ass in and have you seeing stars, or like what she was saying, eyeballs and black circles with purple and shit. So that'll really tap you in. I used to wear those a little bit before I get up on stage even. I mean, that's how powerful they are. So, but usually what I do is the grounding pendant, whereas, like I said, you're talking about the flow pendant, which that'll get you tapped in. But again, usually I use the grounding one just because I go out and deal with public. So, which so do you. Let's see here. Da, 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 da. Hang on. This one said, without you feel positive black energy from somebody, but they keep pulling, without you feel black energy from somebody who keeps pulling you back. Yeah. Like I said, that does help. Okay, let's see. Keep seeing people out of the corner of your eye. Lately, it's been a lot. Yes, again, that's your clairvoyance starting to pop on. So I bet at nighttime when you close your eyes, you get the black lava lampy looking things too. So that's actually a really good sign. Again, that's telling me that your third eye is open, it's stable, and it's working. So that's always associated with clairvoyance, which is the ability to see spirit, but you usually don't see them dead on with your eyes. Almost always you see them off to the sides first until your brain gets trained. So lost black tourmaline and shungite. Do I need to get another? Rosie, those along with hematite are my exception crystals. Black tourmaline usually will end up breaking. And I tell people if black tourmaline breaks, you leave it where it lies because that's probably where it needs to be. And shungite protects you from EMF or microwave energy or 5G energy. So anybody that's near a 5G tower, a Doppler radar, anybody that would be near high power lines, I highly suggest you have some shungite, especially in the corners of your house, or even wearing shungite on you will help to protect you from that EMF energy. So, Darla, this is okay. If you're married and keep having vivid dreams about another guy, it's okay. So it could be from a previous life, but it also signifies that you're really confident with your relationship with your husband right now, but you're not getting your needs met emotionally speaking. So make sure that you're telling him exactly what it is that you need. And if that means what you need in the bedroom, so be it. Okay. Oh, I see, Bobby. You're saying, what if you feel positive energy with somebody, but they keep pulling back? What's that about? So certain people like me are more sensitive. And so what I have to do is shield my energy very quickly. Otherwise, I get drained just as quick. So if you feel like somebody's pulling back, it's probably because they're protecting their energy, not necessarily from you. It could be anybody else. So that's a big one. But it's a protection mechanism sometimes that we can kind of do just to protect our energy so we don't get drained as quickly or as hard. What is my take on using frequency daily and using frequency to heal from illness and disease? I will tell you that frequency will be the future of medicine. Frequency, sound, those healing techniques will probably be very much part of our future here pretty soon. Absolutely. So and this is a hard one. I'll answer the best that I can, Danielle. It takes time. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing anybody can say. There's not anything that we can help you when it comes to grief. It simply takes time. And the best methods that you can do to feel better, laugh when you can and don't feel guilty about it. Have fun when you can and don't feel guilty about it. And try to replace the negative memories with happy ones, especially if they died fairly tragically. We want to replace those happy memories instead of remembering those memories. And don't forget to actually tell your mom that you need a sign, because she'll do that. They always do. Should I play the frequency sounds in the delivery room? Especially ones for your sacral chakra. I would. Not a bad idea. So I'm going to address this one, Jill. You're having relentless dreams that your husband is leaving you. I'm wondering if you are starting to deal with any childhood trauma when it comes to your father that would have died early or suddenly, or would have left your world when you were a child. And that would make sense why you're having that same dream of abandonment. So it goes back to healing that issue or that inner child when it comes to abandonment by the dad, by your biological father. Teresa, this is a very simple question and it's going to suck, but I'm just going to say this the best way that I can. Why does your mom act so condescending to me? It's because you allow it. It's because you allow someone, don't care who, to talk demeaning, condescending, and shitty to you. And I would never allow that. If that starts to happen, you either call them out, you tell them you don't appreciate it, and if they do it again, you grab your shit and you leave. It's very simple, or you hang up the phone, whatever it is. So I don't let anybody mistreat me, and you shouldn't either. And I don't care if it's your mother. I don't care if it's your best friend. I don't care if it's your sister. I don't care if it's your husband. That is abuse. And the problem that I have is that you allow it. That's the problem I have. Not about the crazy bitch that's doing it, because you can't control her. You can't control anything about this. The only thing you can control is you and your reaction to what's going on. And that's where I'm going to say you either learn how to stand your ground and stand up for yourself and tell this person enough, or you simply respond by grabbing your things and leaving. So no, there's no point of fighting about it. There's no point of arguing. You're hurting my feelings. That's really rude of you to say. I don't appreciate it. So, and sometimes you can even say it rather like, but what do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean by that? And play dumb. And they're like, oh, well, I'm like, no, really, what do you mean by that? Don't let them get away with not answering the question. And they're going to find out really quick that, well, that wasn't very nice. Patty's saying that she's become very sensitive to sounds. What's this about? Because the higher you raise your frequency, especially when you open up your throat chakra in particular, sound will be a lot more sensitive. It's almost just like you feel like you're in a freaking tin can. And if you're early on in your spiritual development, it's like nails on a chalkboard. I get it. So even certain people's voices or certain people chewing, or like, I know that early on in my spiritual journey, my kids were very small. They were maybe like 2 and 5. And that's when SpongeBob came out. Oh my God. I kept telling Peyton, turn that TV down. She's like, Mom, it is at a whisper. Okay. I can't barely hear it. And all I kept hearing was that annoying laugh. So it's normal. It does pass a little bit, but there's still going to be some things that you're just like, you can't handle it. It's okay. It'll start to ease up a little bit when you first start to go through a spiritual awakening. It's pretty intense. It's pretty intense. Even birds, you're just like, shut up. Love you, birds. I'm not Snow White. Shut up. Right? You're like, well, let's see. Seeing black squiggly lines. Og Doctor told you it's not floaters. What? Okay. So Sharon, this is so weird. What I call that is like space dust. So I see that too. Sometimes naturally clairvoyant people, when you look outside in the sky, it looks like it's moving, or it looks like it's pixelated, like channel 2 on the TV, it looks like it's pixelated. That's just clairvoyance. And that is kind of your eyes like adapt. It's the veil thinning, but you're seeing the other side, kind of, sort of. In that phase, when the sky looks pixelated like that, that's usually when you're going to see a UFO. So just so you know, or it's kind of like seeing auras. If you want to see somebody auras, you look at them above their head right there, and you let your eyes go wonky. When you stare at something, your eyes kind of start to do that. Well, pay attention to that. When you do that, stare at somebody's head, that's usually when the aura starts to appear. So it's kind of like the same thing. You're seeing, yes, into a different dimension, but at the same time, it just looks pixelated. So time to close the door on a work friend situation for good? Abso-freaking-lutely yes. If you need to shut a door and move on with relationships, with jobs, with homes, with anything, get out. Because here's the deal. You are going to continually grow on your spiritual journey, and not everybody's going to be able to go with you. You're going to outgrow them. It doesn't mean that you have to feel guilty and bad that they can't come with you. To each their own. I can't help somebody with their spiritual development and their personal development if they don't want to do the work. But I'm not going to waste my time, energy, and effort waiting and holding me back from my true potential because I feel bad that they're not coming with me. No, to each their own. And so that's what I'm saying, is that now is the time that if you want to rock the boat and shut a door and draw a boundary and move on from a people, place, or situation, this month is the perfect time to do it. Really, really is. Really is. Tedessa is asking, constantly irritated, feel like you're losing your shit. How can you learn to chill and go with the flow? So I will tell you, first and foremost, the reason why you're angry more than likely is because of your dad. Either he was an angry person and taught you that, or he left early and you still hold some anger with that. And so when things aren't going with the flow here the way you think they should, this is when you get angry. It's the expectation of you thinking it should go a certain way is the problem. That's the problem. Or you expect people to treat you the way that you treat them. That's the problem. You have an expectation. So I've learned a long time, I don't have expectations when it comes to things outside of me, because when it doesn't go the way that I expect it to, I get upset, disappointed, pissed off, whatever words you want to put in there, but it's never positive, is it? Because you have an expectation here, reality sets here, you get let down every single time. So eliminate the expectation. Don't have expectation on how you think things should turn out. That's the problem. And besides, you don't have that control. God source energy has that control. We don't have that control. That's where you have to surrender that shit. Because remember, the only thing you're in control of is what you do, say, think, and react. That's it. That's the only thing you're in control of. That's it. What happens to Earth? This is a great question. What happens to earthbound spirits who haven't crossed over and coming up to the new Earth in the golden age? This is a great question. From what Spirit has told me is that they're currently kind of, I don't know what you would call it, cleaning house. A lot of earthbound spirits are finding their way home right now. A lot of them are, and it's because with us kind of splitting from 3D to 5D, that 4D world is kind of slowly imploding in on itself. And so they are they're getting everybody transitioned where they need to go right now. Have I heard of Billy Carson in the Book of Enoch? Yes and yes. And I can't. So here's the deal with these two topics, Amanda. I'd love to talk about them. I can't. And the reason why I can't is I will get banned on Facebook and all the other platforms because, of course, I always have to say it's entertainment purposes. So this is why when my website gets done, I will have a subscription program. And inside that subscription program, I will do a Q&A once a month. And we're going to talk about shit like that. So I can't do it here because I will get blackballed, literally. But yes, the Book of Enoch, that's one of the many books you should be reading. So the Book of Enoch is one of the books of the Apocrypha, which is a group of books that were purposely left out of the Bible. So any thoughts on Rosicrucians? I have lots of thoughts. Yes, I like Rosicrucians. They're the good guys. Let's see here. But yeah, like I said, I love to talk about that stuff, but I can't here. So that's why we're going to have a subscription program. And then once a month, like I said, I'm going to do a Q&A on Zoom where you guys can see me, but I can't see you. And we're going to talk about shit like that. Yeah, because like I said, I can't talk about that here. How does one know if they're an incarnated angel? Ooh, that's a good question. And I'm going to tell you what, Dream. And this is me personally and my beliefs. People don't incarnate as angels, or excuse me, angels don't incarnate as people. And the main reason why is because to be human is to be flawed. Angels are not. They're straight from God. So that's why I don't think, I think humans can incarnate into angels eventually. But as far as angels incarnating into humans, no. However, they can show up in human form, especially a guardian angel, to protect your butt. If you were not slated to get in a car accident and you were accidentally in that car accident for whatever reason, then you're going to come out with a broken pinky and you're like, oh, I was talking to a guy. And they're like, man, there was no guy here. And you're like, no, there really was. That's usually your guardian angel that protected your butt because that's their job. Their job is to protect you from harm, whereas spirit guide's job is to guide you not necessarily away from harm, just on your path. It's angels' job to be like, hey, let's not talk to this person, or let's talk to that person. That person's not good or bad, whatever. That's their job. Has the Earth's core started rotating in the opposite direction? No, not yet. Talk of it, but no. But I know what you mean. Best crystal for fatty liver, Heather. I really like the red. What am I trying to think of? Not red quartz. Red fire quartz. So that's a really good one. Along with orange sardonyx is pretty good for a fatty liver. And usually people that have a fatty liver have the tendency to have autoimmune issues. So almost always those are they're like best friends. Your mom took her last breath on the new moon. I'm happy for her, but sad I won't be able to hear or see her. Can you give words of wisdom relating to the sorrow? Like I said, make sure to ask for signs and understand that usually when somebody goes on a new moon, that's pretty specific. So that means to tell me that she probably may not have to reincarnate again. But just make sure to ask her to give you some signs. You'll see them. You'll see them. Keep dreaming about a friend previously cut off. Do you reach out? Not necessarily, Bethany. This one is more about sometimes when you're dreaming about a friend, you are in the same situation or you're reacting the same as you were back in that situation. That's usually what it means. Saw a man's face come out of the clouds and smile at me. Who could it be? I wonder why. Usually those are your spirit guides. Could be sometimes guardian angels too, usually. So I will give you the easiest explanation about what your aura means. You ready for this one? So your aura, basically, we have energy centers in our body, which are our chakras. We have upper chakras here, etherical ones, and we have one down below. So understand that our body is an electrical mechanism. So therefore, it has a frequency to it. Frequency can then be translated into light. So your aura is the frequency that you're emitting from your chi, prana, or your life source energy. But basically, here's the deal. You ready for this one? It's not a big deal about auras. It's like a mood ring. It changes with your attitude. So 1 minute your might be a purple aura, but then you get really upset and pissed off that it might go to an orange aura. So your aura color changes just like a mood ring. So, because that's kind of what it is. So Connie, liars, what do we say to them when we know that they're lying? I usually don't, but I'll tell you what. When I know that you're lying, I will never trust you again. I will never take your advice. I won't hold you in high accord, because now I'm questioning your integrity. And if I question your integrity, probably not going to be in my inner circle, right? Let's see. Oh, this one's, no, not that one. Sorry. Jumped. This one. How can I move earthbound woman in your home? She's been here 14 years, lived here, but believes causes feelings of anxiety. And that's quite possible, Amy. So all you're going to do is get a white candle, and you're going to light a white candle. And what I would do is light that white candle and say, all right, lady, here's the deal. I know that you can see the light, and then ask God to send down the white light of the Holy Spirit, ask God to send down some angels to help take her home. And then, like I said, mention to her, be like, listen, girl, your family is on the other side. I know that you're here looking for them, but they're not here. And I'll take care of everything, but you've got to go. The light's here. It's time for you to go. Your ears are going to ring at a really weird pitch. They might itch, they might hum. And you might have little goose pimples or feelings up your back like that. That's when you know that they're there and that they're going to take her home. You might have to convince her, but usually they'll go. And then when she leaves, you're going to know it, because there will be a definite shift in the house. And then when you're done with that, shut your candle and sage the entire house and just clear everything out. And you should be good to go. Should be good to go. Dream catch me. Yeah, it's total money laundering. Sorry, some of these are going fast. Let's see. You guys are all like replying too. This is great. I don't mind at all. This was a good one. It had all kinds of odd bugs land on you. And a lizard got trapped in your window well where you had to rescue it. Any significance? Jordan, so here's the deal. When you get to a certain point of your spiritual development, animals will respond differently to you. They will come up to you, and they probably will ask for help. Or they're going to act strange and you're like, okay, that's weird. Why are they coming so close? It's because you're at a different frequency or a different vibration. They can feel that energy and they know they can trust you. They know that you get it. So that's why when people say the old adage of if my dog doesn't like you, I don't like you, that shit's legit. That's legit. They know energy. So it's actually really common for animals to now start coming to you to get rescued. So especially if you have like a 9 in numerology, especially if you're a 9, which is a natural humanitarian. So, sorry, that was a bug. 26-year-old son came home to find doctor he found a lump back under his rib cage. Well, they'll probably do a biopsy, and in that spot, it doesn't. I'm curious to know, Mandy, if he has any other cysts or if he has acne, because that'll help a little bit with what I'm thinking. Hillary, I will answer. This is a great question. Smelling gardenias during meditation. Those are angels, Toots. Angels always, to me, smell like gardenias. They smell like jasmine and roses, like a mix of it, almost like a tincture, like a spray tincture. And it's not heavy, but it's just enough for you to go, oh man, that smells good. That's angelic. So absolutely. Thoughts on past life regression and Akashic records. Okay, past life regression, love it. I want people to do past life regression versus going to a psychic medium to ask what your past life was, because any psychic medium can make anything up and you're going to believe it because there's no evidence to back that up. You're better off doing that yourself, and that's a self-discovery thing. The Akashic records, totally fine with that. So Akashic records, it says in the Bible that there's going to be a book that's written with everything that you've ever done, thought, said, and that's going to be in this big book. Well, it is. It's called the Akashic Records. You can go to the Hall of Records and check out your Akash. If you want to, there's certain readers that can actually do that. But the biggest thing I'm going to tell you about the Akash is that you cannot predict the future based on the Akashic Records, because it's based on past all the way up into the here and now. Okay. So it is not about future stuff. So Akash is great if you want to add that in with a little bit of past life. But again, I just want to kind of warn people that anybody can make anything up when it comes to past life regression. You're going to believe it. So like I did a Q&A just the other day and I told people, I'm like, well, I could say that you had a past life in Ireland and Scotland, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, I know that I did. Like everybody relates with that. So let's see here. Monique, this is a great question. How do you correctly find your spiritual number, if that's what it's called, the right way? I will tell you that you will just see a number consistently all the freaking time. Okay. So for me, it's 144. That's the number that I see consistently every single day. So that happens to be my number. So other people, it might be 1111. It might be 911. There's different, you'll see it over and over and over, but every meaning means something different. So we have a book that I really like at Awakenings. It's from Kyle Gray, and it's the Angel Number book. It's from 0 all the way to 999. Good book. So I have the old one from Doreen Virtue, and it's like literally beat up, but I still have it, and I still use it. So there's been a few spikes, Jamie, that where the Schumann resonance has been a little extra spiky. So you know, a lot of times it's like you're fine and then you're not, and then you are, and then you're not. So best thing I've been telling people, I'm like, just listen to your body. If you're tired, you're tired. Rest. It's okay. Momentary dizziness, like just a moment, happens quite frequently. It does with me, especially when we have solar flares. So I get that feeling. The best crystal is going to be rainbow fluorite or purple fluorite. Those are actually really good for vertigo, dizziness, and really good for concentration too. But that's a really, really good one. So the purple fluorite. I got to a point where I excluded many friends, had different vibrations from others. I feel when they lie or other negative thoughts. How do you block negative from others? You got to do the bubble trick. So just say something like, God, angels, please surround me with the white light of the Holy Spirit. And then you're just going to imagine yourself in a big white bubble. That's really, really going to help. So like I said, just put that bubble of light around you. Remember, your imagination is your intuition. So do that bubble, and that's really, really going to help you out quite a bit. How do you know if somebody sends you a sign? This is a good question, Julie, because you're going to see it and go, oh my gosh, my mom would have loved that. Or that's something my mother would have done. Or, oh my gosh, that smells like my mom. Or, oh my gosh, that lady looks like my mother. That's how it's very nonchalant. Usually they're nonchalant things, but those are the signs. Those are it. Absolutely. The ringing in the ears, the low pitch ringing in the ears on the right side are going to be your spirit guides. The high pitch ringing on the right side is going to be angels, and the left side is usually your loved ones. Sometimes if it's both and it gets you kind of weird, it could be a solar flare, Schumann resonance spike, geomagnetic storm. So just remember, the higher you vibrate or the more you go through your spiritual development, you will be more sensitive to stuff like this. So you definitely will. Carol, I'll tell you, I too struggle to gain weight. I didn't change my diet. My problem is that I would feel full too fast. And that was because I had too much bad bacteria in my gut. And I had good bacteria, but not the bad bacteria was overruling some of the good bacteria. So, and how I got rid of that was doing 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, pure organic lemon juice in water. And I would drink that in the morning on an empty stomach and then wait 20 minutes and have a cup of coffee and be good to go. Good to go. Yes, the book is on the Awakenings website. Yes. So like I said, it's Angel Numbers book by Kyle Gray. It's a good one. What does the M on palms of hands and palmistry means? It means that that's normal. Everybody has an M, unless you have Down syndrome or you have a special marker called a simian line. So, but everybody should have an M. For the most part, we all have like an M here, M. So we all have M's. So what you want to look for, if you want a really cool marker, see that, let me show you. Try to get a good one. See how it crosses right. There's a cross there and a cross there, how it crosses right there. This one has a lot of them. So see the X right there? That's a psychic mark. See the big X? Hang on, right, oh, there. I have to do everything backwards. There we go. Kind of see in the yeah, there's an X right there. So that's a psychic marker. So dumb little tidbits, right? The ones on my product page, Annie, I will tell you that those are the ones that I personally use on my Amazon page. So, and my brother's a chiropractor, so he's all like, what's in it? What's in it? So he always knows all that stuff. So I always go through him. But now the stuff that's on my Amazon page, I personally use. So, and if it's not on my web page, on the Amazon page, it's because I haven't done either my research or I've never tried it. So that's why on my Amazon page, I could sell anything I want to, but if I've never used it, I'm not going to put it on my page because I can't recommend it. That's not right. Andrew, yes. If you were diagnosed with pneumonia, it's a broken heart, my dear. So, and it may not have happened. It probably happened 3 months ago or 6 months ago for you. Could have happened a month ago too. But that has everything to do with grief or a broken heart, like you got dumped, or maybe you had, you really like somebody and you found out that they don't like you or something like that. So, but basically put, it's a broken heart. So that's where it affects. Any thought on how chiropractic work affects body? I will tell you that I would get an adjustment 2 days before I would do a live audience reading. I would get adjustments monthly, which I've kind of let that slip, but monthly. And every time I do, that night, first of all, I sleep amazing. And it just seems to make everything flow better spiritually wise. I can hear them clearer. I can see them clearer. It's easier. And I could tell when I need it. When I used to do readings, I could tell because things would start to get fuzzy and I was meditating and eating well and drinking water. And that's when usually I'm like, you know what, I probably need an adjustment. And almost always when I got the adjustment, everything was right back on again. So I am a big believer in it, big proponent. Obviously, my brother is a chiropractor. So, but at the same time, I'm like, no, I've seen a lot of positive things come out of it versus negative. For sure. Found a small bump on the son's soft palate. Going to get it checked. Thoughts? Should be fine. That should be fine. Mm-hmm. Hang on. I don't really have relationships with extended family. Don't know how many details about my heritage. Will I still be visited, guided by ancestors? Or absolutely, Nika. It doesn't matter about your family here. Your soul family will always help. Always, always. Two-month-old grandson, bilateral kidney cyst, no diagnosis yet. Kidneys working fine. Bilateral kidney cyst. Boy, he's really angry about his family dynamic. Or his mother, while she was pregnant with him, had issues with her family. So this is a more of a family issue. But I'm guessing mom was pregnant when she had these issues happen. Hence, that's why he would have this issue at 2 months old. So I'm willing to bet money mom was probably pregnant and had I won't say falling out, but there's something that happened with her family that she would have felt like, oh, now I'm the black sheep. So type of thing. So. Sorry. I will post my Amazon page a little bit later. I know I mentioned it earlier. What does left knee pain mean? It means that you don't want to, or you're scared to move forward when it comes to either your spiritual development or letting people know about your spiritual gifts or something along those lines. So I have to show you guys a funny. Ready for this one? Oh, it hurts. So I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but I broke my foot. Broke it real nice. Real nice. Funny thing was, I know exactly where I broke it. I know how I broke it, obviously, but when it broke, I'm like, I know exactly what that issue is. And I'm pissed at myself because I was debating it. And I'm like, should I do it? Should I not? Should I do it? Should I not? And I kept going, I feel like I'm going backwards if I do it, but yet I probably should. But it was one of those, I should, but I shouldn't. And every time I went back and forth, I was like, I would get mad at myself. And I'm like, just decide already. And when that happened, I'm like, decision made. It's a no. It's a no. So good to know. That's why I'm like, sometimes remember when nothing in this world is a coincidence. It is synchronistic. Things never happen willy-nilly, ever. You have to go and figure out why your body is diseased or in disrepair, because it's telling you that you're holding on to an emotion that you need to work through or get rid of or whatever it is. And so that's when I do those metaphysical anatomy Q&As. That's what that's all about. But when I broke this foot, I knew right away. I'm like, son of a bitch. Like, I was debating on if I should. Now it's not only a no, it's a hell no. Decision made. So broken ankle, meaning, Janet, it depends on which ankle. It does. So if it's the left one, it's everything to do with spiritual, intuition, creativity, mom. If it's the right one, it has everything to do with security, job, money, possible relationships, father. So almost always. Good. Why does it do that? Okay. Why do people keep coming into my life and end up hurting me? Well, Jenna, I'm going to say it just like I told the other lady. It's because you keep allowing it. It's because you allow people to treat you less than. And I would be willing to bet that the reason why you allow that is because your dad was not there for you at all growing up. Because a dad's job is to set the standards by which a girl should date by how he treats his daughter. And so I'm guessing that since you allow so little, that your dad wasn't there for you at all. And you deserve a hell of a lot more than that. And you do. Next EA is August 2nd, 3rd, 4th. And so I am taking new students. So if you guys are interested, right now, unfortunately, my website is under construction, but you can call Jess and talk to her about it. But yeah, it's on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th here in Omaha. I also do it via Zoom too. So like I said, class is usually no more than 14 people. And it's for 3 days. It's pretty intense, but you get an entire binder by the time you're done, like that big. So it's good stuff. It's fun. Adolescent absent seizures. Usually they grow out of that. Usually it's just because their nerves are growing so fast that sometimes we get a little bit of a short circuit. But almost always they grow out of that, which is good. Asked for a little miracle to see 5 black cockatoos back fence for Christmas and saw 6, something better. They would never normally land there. Can we all manifest miracles? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's the fact that you don't think it's a possibility is the problem. Anything is possible. Anything. You just have to get your fear or your doubt out of the way. And let's be real. The reason why people have fear and doubt is because of the unknown. It's either that or they don't understand it. Best crystal for an autism or autistic kiddo. We have an autistic crystal kit. We have lots of different crystal kits, but I do have an autism, an Asperger's crystal kit. So reoccurring leg and foot cramps. That's you're angry and stubborn. You're angry and stubborn. So make a decision and go. Quit doing the back and forth thing. But usually it's because you don't like change. You like to stay where you're at. You hate change. Well, in order for you to grow as a human and as a soul, you need change. You need change. Hot flashes, like I said, if your hormones are A-okay, it's probably good because your thyroid. So unless you're at that age, but I don't think you are, Emily. So that's when I double check the thyroid and make sure that thing is running right. So this is a good question too. How do you get rid of brain fog? Usually that is because of diet, or it's because you're not grounded. Your root chakra is not open, and you need to really open the root chakra more so you can focus and concentrate. What do I think about red light therapy? Not only yes, but hell yes. There's been a lot of positive benefits with that. A lot. You had a thyroidectomy. Rachel, that means that you have a really, really hard time speaking up for yourself. You have a hard time telling people no. And you have a hard time with being vulnerable. Does everybody meet their soulmate? No. It depends on your lesson here. So if your lesson here is your love life, like it is me, then that's the goal. Not always, but not always. It depends on your lesson. Like I said, some people meet their soulmate right out of high school. That's their lesson here on earth has nothing to do with love. Maybe it has to do with their family or money or self or something else. Left eye twitch diagnosis of Bell's palsy. Thought you need to detox, Carrie. And first thing I would tell you to look at is detoxing off of heavy metals. That would be the first thing I would look for. Reason for a staph infection, Shawnette, it's because you have a hard time loving yourself. You have a really tough time loving yourself. You have an aversion to yourself. Lower right back has shooting down the right leg. Tanya, that has everything to do with your job. That has everything to do with your job. And I'm guessing that you're doing a job that you have to go to because of the money and the insurance and not because it has anything else to do with you. Either that or it's because you don't have any financial support. You're kind of on your own. Constant hernia pain, stomach issues, that has a lot to do with anxiety or stress, just stress. It's more stress than anxiety. Anxiety hits differently. But I would, Chloe, I would also add in there, I think it's really hard for you to have confidence and you might have self-worthiness issues. Why do you always pick the wrong men? Michelle, because your dad probably wasn't that good of a dad and didn't set a really good standard. So my guess is that but here's the deal. Ladies need to understand that the first relationship that you are going to get into is going to mimic your father. If your dad was an alcoholic, you're going to date an alcoholic. If your dad was abusive, you're going to date an abuser. If your dad was never there, well, then you're going to be extremely codependent, or the opposite, have an aversion. So understand that when I say that a dad will determine the quality of a man by which a daughter will date, based on how he treats his wife, mother, your mother, or how he treats his children. So, and especially his female children. All right. So that's why a lot of ladies are like, oh, I don't need a man to raise my babies. Yes, you do. Oh, yes, you do. Children need two parents. Children need two parents. So I don't care how good you are. It hits the brains differently. Can we find out our life lesson? Yes. Look at the theme of your life. Look at the one thing you seem to struggle with all the time. Like this lady was like, just earlier, she was like, why do I pick the wrong man? Hello. Woo-hoo, right here. This girl did. Okay, I dated the alcoholic, the bipolar one, the abuser, the bipolar alcoholic. I dated the narcissist. I dated them all. And I needed to do that so I could truly appreciate when my soulmate came by. And there's no way in hell I'm getting rid of him. So, but I also learned lessons too along the way. Bad postures, curling shoulders in. I will tell you, it could be one, the way that you're sleeping with a pillow, but number two, a lot of times it has to do with you on that damn phone. Because when we're excited about something, have you noticed how your posture does this when you're excited on the phone, and then your shoulders go down? You're doing this too much. So my guess is probably games. Sorry, some of these are going kind of fast. Sorry, guys. I have seen those patches, Jennifer. I haven't personally tried them. Not a clue. Maybe somebody here could maybe help you out with that one, but not that I know of. So yes, you can have more than one life lesson. Yes, you can. So sometimes, well, a lot of times, the lessons are going to be, like I said, it's something that you just can't seem to freaking get right here, whether that's money or self or relationships or career, or there's a lot of different things, Goiter. So a goiter, Judy, is because your people are trying to give you advice and you're like, nope, I want to do it my way because I've done it the same way for the last 50 years and I don't do change. I have to have it the same way. So it's just an inflexibility of moving on from a situation. So almost always you don't like change. You hate change. Do I have a crystal kit for quitting smoking? I don't, Naomi, but the best one for that is gray Botswana agate and smoky quartz. And I'd even add in, amethyst on that one too. So husband and I are going through complete life upheaval. Are you going to be okay? Yeah, just make sure to give the other person grace and speak truth, not what they're doing wrong, but speak on what you need help with. So, what causes brain aneurysms? Internal worriers, but it's an internal worry, like they're cool as a cucumber on the outside, but they're internally worried. They work really hard. They don't play a lot, and they're usually very copper deficient. Do I recommend reading since I'm not doing them? Yeah, Emily Cook. So Koch. So she's one of my students, and right now she's doing reading. So yes, I would recommend her. She's great. Some of you guys are putting in like stories. So Kimberly's asking, dream about the ocean often. Each time location is different, but familiar, like you've been there before. So Kimberly, you probably had some past lives near the ocean then. So, and you're remembering instances or like little snippets from previous lives. Absolutely. How to get more copper? Drink out of copper cups. Drink water out of copper cups. I get that way too. So, and usually people that have brain aneurysms have the tendency, and I'm just curious if you guys have noticed this, but brain aneurysms and varicose veins go hand in hand. What's my opinion on taking magnesium? Hail to the yes. Most of us are deficient in magnesium, and that really helps with happiness. People that are depressed need an extra dose of magnesium because they don't have it. And that's usually why I recommend that depressed people should take Epsom salt baths every other day with at least a cup of Epsom salt, because Epsom salt is magnesium sulfate and it can be absorbed through the skin. It's gonna help a lot. Dreamt of a mermaid once. She was completely green like the goddess on Mona. Was this a real mermaid? Yeah. Absolutely. So you can dream about mermaids and fairies and dolphins, and absolutely, those are very high vibe, or I won't say high vibe. They're more mythical cryptid, but they are more high vibe than us, considering that they can phase in and phase out. They could be seen and not be seen. So I would include Bigfoot, gnomes, and everything else in that category as well. Recommendations on a chemical detox. I will tell you that I did one for my brother, and it was called Standard Process. And I will tell you that hands down was the best detox I've done. But it'll kick your butt. So first 3 days, I was dragging ass. That third day about did me in. So that was real hard because everything in my body was purging hard. So like I said, I think my brother does it twice a year. I'm like, bro, like when I say meal prep, I mean, it's a very strict diet. And it's all preferably organic, but it's all a very strict diet, mostly vegan, no cheese, no coffee, no nothing like that. But man, it's a good one. So it's called Standard Process is what it is. So I got it through my brother's office. I don't know much about it other than I get it through him. So it's a Hanson Chiropractic Wellness Center, that Blair in Omaha here. So found a mass behind your sternum, about to have surgery, remove it. You're going to be okay. Oh yeah. Yeah. They're just going to scrape it. Yep. Meaning of bird pooping on your head. That's actually good luck. I know that sounds strange, but that's actually good luck. So just for me, that usually means, I know that sounds so dumb. For me, it means good luck and you're at the right place, the right time, meaning that you're doing great. You're on the right path. It may not feel like it, but you're on the right path. So Lynn, I can't put your comment on here from Facebook, but I will say I absolutely agree with you. Rather have a feather on my head. Boy, that's no shit. Oh, Lord. Oh, you have an opportunity to expand your business time. Yes, go. Green light. We just expanded our business too. Green light. That's a go. Like I said, if you need to change relationships, your job, your house, if you need to make some big moves, do it. That this month is all about big changes. Do it, do it, do it. Absolutely, yes. Meaning of finding a bee in your house, those are happy. So that's little signs of happiness. I know that sounds, bees and canaries and yellow finches are kind of, in my world, they're all the same. They're just happy. They're just showing you happiness. So even though they freak the hell out of people, but you know. If you're seeing them daily, that could be from a loved one. It could be one of your spiritual animals too. So we do have spirit animals or totems as well. So we do have those. That could be it. Let me just address this one quick. Is your country going to be okay? People fear change. Okay. In order for change to occur, we must have a catalyst to occur for all of us to go, that's it, we're done. So we're not there yet because we haven't had the big catalyst yet. But the enlightened ones are clearly seeing through the bullshit. And we're struggling with authenticity and integrity and truth. And that's where a lot of us are struggling. And I'm going to tell you what, there's nothing I can do about it, and there's nothing you can do about it. And that's a worry that I'm not going to worry about. I will take care of it when or if it happens. But I am not going to sit there and worry or play the what if game. I just don't play that game. So like I said, there isn't enough quite yet. But what I've been telling people is that if you're worried about the presidency or your country or your local stuff, then you need to start running for your local governments, because that's where the change is going to start. So that means that you need to start running for your school boards. You need to start running on your hospital boards. You need to start running on your political boards, your city councils. So that's how these changes are going to occur. They will not change with you giving your opinion on Facebook. No, they're going to change by you actually doing something about it. So that's where I think where a lot of people feel like they're powerless. And I'm telling you that you're not. But that's just not that's not my field. That's not my field. That's my brother's field for politics, not mine. So, but yeah, it's going to be just fine. It's going to be just fine. Have faith. Remember, the light always wins. Always. Just remember your faith and keep your vibe high. That's all you have to do. Stop watching the fucking news because there's nothing good on it. Nothing. So don't, like I said, and you know as well as I do, it's all slanted. And yeah. Seeing a white squirrel in your backyard. First of all, the squirrel is one of my spirit animals, but a white one, albino, okay, that's just freaking cool. Love that shit. But honestly, that usually means spiritual connection. So I would tell you, Deborah, maybe, a squirrel might be one of your animal totems too. The heavy metal detox one, I have it on my Amazon page. It's basically like a spray, a zeolite spray, and that really does help with the heavy metal detox. Feeling blocked, how can you clear it? Depends on what's blocking you, or depending on what you're feeling is blocking you. Because here's the deal, nothing blocks you. It's because you don't know where you're going, and therefore you don't know even how to get there. And so I guess I have a better question, Brittany. I would ask you, what are your goals, ambitions, and dreams? I'm guessing you don't have any, and that's the problem. What are you deficient in if it takes you a long time to heal, Cheryl? Your inner child is broken due to trauma. Fix that. Fix that. Dang it. Sorry. What does it mean on days that you're very irritated but don't know why? Usually that's because of an energy shift. And it could be some old subconscious shit that you just need to get rid of. So it very well could be something like that too. So you bet. It could be one of the two things. But for me, usually, it's almost always for me, it's if I get irritated out of nowhere, that's when I know I have to take my Adderall, because I know my brains are not communicating the right way. So I've just learned a long time ago, I ain't fighting my brain anymore. Thoughts on hypnotherapy? Love it. Love it, love it, love it. The outer bilateral foot pain. So that, if it's on your right side, that has a lot to do with your not wanting to move forward with a negative relationship or ending a relationship that you know that you need to get rid of. And if it's on the right, that has to do with you don't want to do something spiritually speaking or creatively speaking because you're stubborn and you don't want to. Are the chemtrails still bad around the world? No, just the United States. Just the United States. Let's just keep spraying all that aluminum and plastic in the air and, everybody be fine, right? Isn't it funny how we drink out of aluminum cans and we eat off of aluminum foil and everything is aluminum, our deodorant is aluminum, and we can't figure out why we're always sick and tired all the time? Maybe it's because of all the aluminum in our body. That's why. It's not the mercury, it's the aluminum. And guess where it goes? Right to your brain. Doesn't go to any other organ. No, goes right to the brain. So that's why I highly suggest a heavy metal detox. Would stomach ulcers be related to anger issues? Kind of, sort of, but that's usually more of you're worried about someone, or like I said, that's more of a worry, anxiety, or stressor, not necessarily anger. Anger is usually going to hit you right in the liver. So fatty livers, that's angry people, or bits of anger. Planning a trip to get away and grieve your mom, a good idea. Amber, I think that is an amazing idea. I think it's an amazing idea. I love that idea, actually. I want to say something, but I can't because I'll get blackballed. But Freemasonry, for the most part, they're a great organization. They really, really are. Now, past the 33-degree masonry, well, that's different. But for the most parts, I know 33-degree masons, and they are not what's been rumor milled around, because I think a lot of masons are good citizens trying to help their community. They really are. But they're not clear up there in that 33-degree. So you get past that, that might be a little bit different, but they're still good for local communities. My opinions on the new incoming financial system. Nobody knows what the new incoming financial system is going to be. It's going to be screwed up no matter what. How about that? So yeah, and I'll tell you what, taking money out of your bank account isn't going to help you. So like I said, if the government decides to shut their banks down for a little bit for maintenance, that's when you know some shit's going to hit the fan. But it won't matter if you take it out now or later or never, because it's all going to change. So I've just been reassuring people that if that happens, when it happens, if it does, we're all going to be in the same boat, and not to stress too much over it, because it's going to work its way out. And in the meantime, we'll just trade for goods and services. It'll be fine. So now worried. Amy had a dream that she was pregnant, but you're not pregnant. That's actually a really good sign. So birth, death, pregnancy in a dream for me is a good sign. That means that you're literally working on a project and you're about ready to give birth to it. Like I said, those are good signs for me. Love them. Can you just be sovereign and ride your bike in nature and tend to your garden and good and live your life purpose and be okay to live like that? I think dream, let's be real. I think that is the dream for us enlightened ones. Legit. I do. I think that is our dream. And if we could do this as a community, even better. So absolutely, where we can all work about 4 hours a day, we all contribute to something, and then we trade, and it's easy. Patty, yeah, branding aneurysm. I was talking about that one earlier. That's usually a copper deficiency, and you are an internal worrier. You worry all the time, and usually that's because somebody taught it to you, like a mother or something. Do people with dementia see other dimensions? Yes. That is one thing that I do discuss in Enlightenment Academy. Enlightenment Academy is a program that I wrote for the next generation of psychic mediums and healers, right? So that is one of the things that we talk about in EA2, is that it is possible for you to talk to somebody who is close to crossing over that has severe dementia. And yes, technically you could talk to them if you wanted to, but that's not right. Moralistically, that's not right. The family should know what that person's last wishes would be. And if they don't know, today's a great conversation day to have that. I highly suggest you have your death conversation to people, because 1, it eases a lot of confusion. 2, it will keep your family bonded together. And 3, it helps everybody. If you do, have a plan, please. I've seen too many families destroyed, and I'm sure you have too, just because somebody didn't have a proper will or a trust, or they didn't tell someone what they truly wanted. Yeah, this is right. That's why I'm like, I'm not worried about anything financial happening this year. It's going to happen next year. And hell, I'll even say May of next year. How about that? La, 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 la. Amanda, you'll have good luck with that. Let's see. How should you handle somebody that constantly projects their insecurities on you? Understand that, 1, it is their insecurity. But if they are constantly doing it, then maybe it's time to have a sit down conversation and be like, listen. So, and all you can do is talk from your heart and explain to them, I can see you really struggling with this. And I'm here to help you as a friend. I'm really here to help you with that. But like I said, the hardest part that I have, this one's a hard one for me, because do you define them as a friend or an acquaintance? Because if it's an acquaintance, there's no point of telling them that. If it's a true friend, somebody that you care about, then yes, say something. Should we prepare for food? So here's the deal. This is a great question because I do have a lot of people asking me. So, and I'm not going to lie about it. I have extra water downstairs. I have an emergency seed kit, and I do have an emergency food kit. But here's the deal. If power goes down or something weird happens, it won't be for a long time. It's only going to be like 3 days. So just make sure that you have enough food on hand to take care of yourself for 3 days and water, just in case. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't. So, and that's not being paranoid. That's more being like a Boy Scout. So I would rather be prepared than not, right? So I have flashlights, extra batteries, walkie-talkies. I have a small little generator, solar generator, seed kit, food kit, so extra blankets, and I have them all in one spot. So if we have to grab and go, we're fine. But I've always been that way. But I've been that way for like 10 years. So, but I always do that. Loss of hair, having a baby, or is it a thyroid issue? That's usually a hormonal issue and totally normal. And Rosie, if it still bugs you, go back to taking your prenatals. Go back to taking prenatals. Nothing wrong with that. Owner selling house, we rent, untrustworthy people around with this. Will my son and you be safe? You will, Beltar, but keep your money on you. I don't know. Just don't leave your money back. Keep your money with you. Okay. Why so many tornadoes this year? Because they're man-made. A lot of them are. Some of them aren't. Some of them are. So I don't think they quite have a down pat on where they need to go yet, but let's see. My narcissistic ex-husband took our dog and will not let me have her, see her. Will I get to have her back? Unless you take him to court, no. They don't, because Shelly, he doesn't care about your feelings. He cares about power, money, control. And he knows that if he takes the dog, he controls you. So, gosh, sorry. Stop. Boone, dreaming about somebody that you never met before, saying that they need to get to know you. That's your spirit guide. That's one of your spirit guides introducing themselves. So I don't know if you've been asking to meet your spirit guides or be introduced. That's them. And you may not be able to see it depending on your clair. If you're clairvoyant, you're going to see them. If you're clairaudient, you're going to hear them. If you're clairsentient, you're going to feel them. So depending on your clair is how you're going to interpret who, what they need, I guess, or what they're saying. But no, that's absolutely one of your spirit guides, hands down. Any suggestion to grow hair? No, but there's a lot of products out there. I know that there's certain frequencies too, but there's a lot of different products out there that are actually pretty decent. So how do they make tornadoes? Because they are sending microwaves out and they are directing it that way. So you'll even see it on radar between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. So yeah, so that and wildfires, yeah, they have Project Bluebeam and oh yeah. So that's on like, don't think for it. Like, I don't trust the government at all, clearly. Done everything possible to fight menopause, weight gain, no avail. Ideas, Katie. If you could handle what do I want to like birth control, then you might be able to handle like estrogen, progesterone, or something like that. And they're finding out that it's actually helping out more than hurting. So why do you only or rarely remember your dreams? Because you don't need to. Sorry, I get the hiccups. You don't need to remember them right now. Do you know of any animal readers? I'm not, but Cindy Downing is. She's here in Omaha. Absolutely amazing. She's been doing it for years. So she is an animal communicator. It's something whispers. Oh, crap. Hey, babe, what's the name of Cindy's business? Downy. Whisper in my ear. Ha ha. Cindy, yes. Let's see here. Sudden ringing in the ear, high vibration in the right ear. Those are angels, Charlotte. And it's not that they have anything to say necessarily. It's just, they're just letting you know that they're around, they're here, and they're here to help you out. So, and just to kind of give your worry up, let it go, surrender it. Knee pain, joint pain, depends on which side, Kimberly. I need to know if it's the left or the right. I need to know which side because it does matter. Rhonda, I can guarantee you that your parents are in heaven. So they all, 99.9 of us go. Do I believe in conjures and potions? Yeah. Just like crystals and energy work and everything else. Yes. And candle magic. Oh, yeah. What causes blood pressure issues? A lot of times it's a feeling of you're working too hard, there's not enough play, you have too much responsibility and not enough outside time. It's not, you're not balanced. It's just all work, money, must hurry, must do this. And then you're like, oh, time for vacation. I don't have money for a vacation. I got it. And I'm like, a vacation doesn't have to cost money. Parks are free. We do that a lot. So, possible hearing loss in left ear for 2-week-old newborn. Veronica, that I have to go back and look at the mother and try to figure out that when you were pregnant, was there a lot of noise? Was there a lot of yelling, screaming, a lot of loud music? A lot of times if it's too loud, when a child is in utero, they'll go deaf. Oh, yes, you're right. You know what, Mona? I forgot about her. So Teresa Falk is another animal communicator here in town. You're right. I did forget about her. Sorry, Teresa. What crystal can you use to raise your vibration? Rosie, any of the Synergy 12s. So that would include like phenakite, apophyllite, moldavite, meteorites, tektites, brookite, tanzanite. I don't know. There's 12 of them. So what does it mean when you feel like you've been somewhere and already done something, but you haven't? It's called deja vu. And sometimes it lasts more than just like a few minutes. Sometimes it can really extend out for a while. So, but that's good old deja vu. And that means that you have seen that before it precognitively in a dream. If you have hearing loss in your right ear after a measles vax, that is because of the vax, and that's due to, so you get sick due to environmental, viral, or emotional. And so that one happens to be environmental. So, and it really wasn't necessarily a life lesson. However, I have found that people that are deaf have their perception is more sharp with the other senses. If you're blind, your perception is sharp with the other senses. So yeah, it's not necessarily a life lesson. Sometimes, weirdly enough, in the spirit world, it's actually an advantage. Sorry, stop moving. So how to handle judgmental people. Honestly, I don't respond. I'll sit back and watch instead. And then I'm going to pray for them when I'm done, because they usually need it. They usually really need it. Ovarian cancer has a lot to do with resentment with your partner. Almost always, it could be an ex-partner, or you could be a victim of SA or childhood trauma down there. So it could be from any of those, but usually it has to do with kind of a detest with your partner. Could be a child too, but almost always it's a partner. Tickle, a feeling of hair and throat, not speaking, but about what? It just means that you're not telling people no, or you're not being true to yourself by speaking about your feelings on situations. And this is very common with empaths, is that they will have the conversation worked out in their head as to avoid conflict or confrontation. And what that ends up doing is robbing your partner or your friend on allowing them to understand your perspective. And so when you don't speak up, even though it might cause a conflict, when you don't speak up, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're accepting that, well, it is what it is, or they didn't mean it. No, they meant it, or they wouldn't have said it. No, they meant it. And I think us ladies have always been told, oh, just let that go, or, oh, they didn't mean to say that. No, they did. They really did mean to say it. And I've gotten to a point now where I'm just going to call you out on it, because then I'm going to act dumb and be like, well, what do you mean by that? Well, I'm like, no, really, what do you mean by that? Please explain to me what you mean by the fact that I'm a fake and a phony, because I'm here right now. And I don't see anybody else thinking that I'm a fake or a phony. So explain to me how you came up with that assumption. And they usually are like, oh, well, I'm like, no, really. And again, I'm going to keep at it. And almost always they make themselves look like a fool in front of everybody. And then I'm going to let it go and I'm going to move on. So, but I don't allow people to disrespect me anymore. I don't allow it. I won't. I just won't. I care about myself too much, because if I'm not going to stand up for myself, who will? Who will? No, I'm going to. Let's see. Husband has a headache a lot of days when he gets home from work. What does that mean? That means to tell me that he has a very, very stressful freaking job, and where he has to hyper focus and make sure that he pays attention to detail, or he's going to get in trouble. Maybe it's time that he gets a new job. UTIs, Jackie, are literally being pissed off. You're pissed off at your partner. You're pissed off at your children. You're pissed off. You're just busy, pissed off. That's what UTIs are. Anger, little bouts of anger. Like, I always think of UTIs like mad little squirrels. And then they're fine. And then, so instead of waiting to get all shades of pissed off, when they disrespect you right then and there, say it. And I think when there is a problem, I've learned that I don't wait. Now, there's a right way and a wrong way to say things, but if there is a problem, I'm going to nip that problem in the ass right then and there. And I've learned that when you do that, it gets squashed. You never have to wonder I wonder if they meant to say that to me or to somebody else, or I wonder if they misspoke. No, I'm going to ask for clarity. Okay. So like I said, I learned a long time ago, I'm going to fix a problem right then and there. So it's kind of like, let me give an example. So we go to, say, my parents, right? And Eric says something really shitty about me. And I'm going to wait till I get in the car. I'm like, you know what? What you said really hurt my feelings. And I don't appreciate the fact that I felt like you were kind of jumping on me here a little bit and bashing on me. And, my husband's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I meant it as a joke. And I'm like, it wasn't a joke. That really hurt my feelings. You know what? I'm so sorry. I won't do that again. I'm like, cool. And a discussion. I'm not going to bring it back up. I'm not going to shove it down his face again. That's not what mature people do. Instead, like I said, I'm going to nip it in the ass right then and there. I'm not going to wait and stew on it and get all mad and wait till 3 days later and then let him have it along with all the other shit that's been bugging me. That's not the right way to have an argument. That's a childish way to have an argument. So you have to learn how to talk about how you feel to your partner as an adult. And if they don't treat you like an adult, then maybe you shouldn't have that partner. Okay. Kathy's saying the husband thinks he's allergic to magnesium. If that's the case, Kathy, I think he needs to he needs a blood draw to see like baseline foundation where he's at to be able to then move on and see what he might need or what he might not need. So, Lori at 24, again, could a lot of times early on like this, I'm going to look at like meningitis, a major viral issue. I'm also going to look at any vaccinations you would have got, especially like Gardasil. I would curious to know, like, those are all things that I'm going to look at, because that's not that it's going blind at 24 is going to be more environmental. So, or it could be viral. It's one of the two. Becky, I will tell you, I've seen a lot of people that have eczema issues and psoriasis issues have a lot of yeast. So chill on the sugar. So number 2, balance your work life home, please. So that is all out of whack. You're either working 24/7 or you're playing 27 and not working, or you got to balance, girl. You don't have balance. It's either all work or all play. There's nothing in the middle. We got to get you in the middle a little bit better. Food intolerance is absolutely normal. And guess what? Might even get worse, because the higher you vibrate, the more you go in your spiritual development, the less you will be able to tolerate bullshit food like mac and cheese and frozen pizza. Your body won't tolerate it anymore. So you will have major food allergies. Oh, fun. Fun. Heard the saying, they walk in this world in the spirit world. What does that mean? That's what mediums do best. So I have one foot in this world to tell you what they're saying, but I also have one foot in their world so I can interpret what they're saying. So I literally have one foot in this world and one foot in that world. As a matter of fact, in numerology, I'm an 11 or I'm a 2. So again, I can put my foot in both sides. So, and oh, shocker, I'm a Libra. So again, so it just, that's what, like, makes sense to me. Makes sense to me. Concerned about 2030? Well, shit, I'm more concerned about next year. Good God, you're already concerned about years down the road? Holy shit, that's a whole nother dose of anxiety. I don't want to be in your world. So again, there's nothing you can do. If you know something bad is going to happen or occur, then do something about it. So otherwise, if there isn't shit you can do, don't worry about it. Surrender, give it to God. So besides, you have to understand the bad guys right now. Let's be real, okay? The bad guys, and you know what I mean, okay? The bad guys right now are really going to test your discernment, all right? They're going to put false shit out there to get you worried about the future, okay? Don't buy it. Don't buy it. So do you know how many times in my lifetime, and I'm 47, do you know how many times in my lifetime I've survived the end of the world events? Like, let's hear 2000K or 2000 when that turned over. Then we had like what? All these, what was it? Oh, December 21st. Yeah, December 21st, 2012. Like, end of the world there too. Like, there is so much fear in our spiritual society right now. Put it away. Put it away. It's not helping you live your life right here, right now. Let it go. So I have a lot of people like, oh my God, we're in a matrix. So what if we are? Play the game while you're here. You chose to be here in this time, space, reality. Make the best of it. Figure out what your purpose is. Treat people the way you want to be treated. And that's all you have to worry about. That's it. That's it. And instead of worrying about the future, what do you want it to look like? Let's start coming up with some solutions, because right now they're winning, and they're winning because they're feeding you lines of bullshit right now, and you're buying it. Stop buying the fear. Stop buying the fear. I'm not. We're going to be fine. You wouldn't have incarnated at this time, space, reality if it weren't going to be fine. So, like I said, give it to God, let it go. There's no point of worrying about things that are out of your control. You don't have control about that. But instead, what you're doing is manifesting it. And for all of us, would you please not manifest that? Instead, why don't we start looking at utopian, like what can we do as a collective to start living together positively and happy? And yeah, we're going to have to live with the unenlightened ones for a little while too. So we got to figure out that shit. So we have a lot of things that we can do now that are going to be more positive than worrying about the what if bullshit in the future. Like I said, there's too many people right now buying the bullshit. Don't. Use discernment. Use discernment. Do your research. Don't buy everything that you're reading. And second of all, don't buy everything on Google. It's slanted. It's bought. Okay? If you're going to use a search engine, use Brave. So, like I said, there's a lot of things that I love to discuss, but I can't because I'll get blackballed on this shit. So, the biggest thing, like I said, I do have Enlightenment Academy. It's coming out August 1st, so that'll be EA1. So if you've ever been interested, now's a great time to do it. Let's see. I have a live crystal sale. It's a clearance crystal sale, like some clearance crystals I got to get rid of. So that's going to be this Sunday from like 10 to noon. Outside of that, like I said, I'm been really busy like with the website and getting a bunch of other things. I did order my first set of tarot cards. They are on order. I got to see how they look. So I got my demo deck. So we'll see how those look. If they look great, I'll order a bunch. But again, I'm waiting for all that to occur, let alone the fact that I'm still working on a couple other like projects here that I need to get done, because once the website's launched, I then have to dedicate my time to that. So been busy, but it's been all behind the scenes work, right? So I want to thank everybody so much for watching tonight. Like I said, I'm going to try to go live here probably like Friday, maybe even Saturday too, because I have a little bit of time. Depends on what I got going on here. But just want to thank everybody for watching. Like I said, pretty low key this month, but boy, in August, we're not going to be. So, but if you get the opportunity to go outside and play and just chill, go outside and play and chill. Like I said, it's not all about work. Don't buy the whole, oh my God, like everything's going to go to hell in a handbasket. Nah, it won't. It'll be fine. So, all right, guys, take care. Have a wonderful week ahead. And like I said, if you're going to make some huge moves on the chessboard, this is the month to do it. This is the month to do it. Be brave. Like I said, you know, your intuition's screaming at you. It's the logistics that kick your ass. So, all right, guys, take care. Have a wonderful week ahead.